Hey everyone, MMA Uncensored, Matthew here. We've got a great show for you tonight. This is the first one we've had in 2021. We have Britain Hart, and we were supposed to have Chris Sarro. Unfortunately, Chris had some traveling issues, so we're only going to have Britain Hart, which is okay, because I'm sure she's got a lot to say, and we want to hear about it. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Britain on right now. I know you're excited as I am.
Oh, hey Matthew, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great, definitely. I'm having an amazing time. I'm down in Biloxi, Mississippi, um, getting ready to watch these fights. We had weigh-ins today, and then the fights are tomorrow. So I'm just super pumped. This is in my element and what I love to do.
Okay. Okay. No, I'm. You know what? That's awesome that you're there for support. A lot of fighters don't really go to a lot of the other events. I've noticed when they have things like this.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, it's one of those things I think was the next level kind of for me to show that I'm a different and a rare breed of fighters. I'm here to be the best and learn and consume it anyway. And that means supporting my fellow teammates and people I train with and something in a sport that's so amazing. And again, the fastest growing combat sport right now and the next biggest thing. And so I think just getting it at all angles is a really helpful way. And then plus, again, I love these fighters. I'm really excited. It's one of those things, you know how it goes. Watching it on TV is just not the same as watching it live in person.
You're absolutely right. I've been to a couple of your fights actually, and I've been to a lot of the fights. And watching it on TV is okay, but hearing them get hit and hitting the ground and seeing the blood squirt on the referee and people on the stands, it's crazy.
Yes, it is definitely. I mean, BKFC has nailed the it factor. Like, you just don't really get it until you're there, and then seeing the people's reactions and energy that the fights generate is just unbelievable.
Yeah. No, trust me, I know. I've been a fan since day one. It's awesome. You're a great fighter. Love seeing you in action. Um, I want to ask you though, how does it feel stepping in to that squared circle? I know it's not called a ring, squared circle. How do you feel? What's going through your mind?
I was actually just saying something to somebody today because they are friends with Mike Tyson. I was like, I listen to Mike Tyson's speech every time before I fight, and it's a speech about how he's scared to death when he's in the locker room, but every step closer to the squared circle and stepping into that ring, it's just you feel more like a god, like untouchable, indestructible, and that's really how I feel. Fighting is one of the very few things in life that we have a lot of bad things that happen to us, and sometimes it's hard to shut off or forget. But when you're fighting, there's nothing in the world that matters besides you and that person in front of you. And you don't get that feeling very often unless it's a rare feeling. And so when you find that feeling, you definitely want to hold on to it and zone in on it. And so that's how I feel as a fighter, and that's why I know I'm made for this sport because I'm not worried about anything else. I'm just laser focused on just me and the other person that's in the ring with me.
Nice, nice. You do look very super confident, and that was one thing I thought to myself when I saw you. I said, "Wow, she looks so confident." Even after the fight, your demeanor it stays the same. Some people's excitement levels jump. You stay very zoned in. I've noticed that a lot. That's awesome. So one question I do want to ask you that fans are going to want to know. They're going to want to know. Paige Van Zant fight. Tell us what was your feeling when you got the contract signed and you said, you know what, I'm going to show the world.
It was like a final. It was a finally moment. It was kind of one of those things where I really wanted to fight, but I didn't think I was going to get it because maybe they'd give her to something a little more easier. And then she had gotten in the ring with me when I called her out at the at my fight, and so I kind of thought it was a done deal. But then it was going back and forth, and there's some drama with that. So when I finally got it, I was kind of like, this is exactly what I wanted and asked for, and it shows you. It was kind of like proof to me if you want something bad enough, you'll do anything to get it and for it. And then once you get it, you need to capitalize on it. So there was no way that I wasn't going to win. I already won in my mind because I asked for it and fought for it. I'm not going to fight for an opportunity. And I wasn't fighting for it for clout. And believe it or not, I wasn't fighting for it for money. I feel like, the contract could have been negotiated and been a lot better, but I took that fight because I knew I would win and I knew I would shock the world and people would see me for who I really am. And that's why I wanted the fight. It wasn't for the money, it wasn't for the clout or the fame. It was literally so people could see that I can be elite level athletes and that I am the new elite athlete. And people have seen me before, and they can make assumptions, but really I just had a lot of you know bad hands dealt to me in situations, that we don't have to go in. It's in the past. It made me who I am. But I wanted that fight, and the fact I got it, I knew I wasn't gonna, capitalize on it. I didn't really ask for the Beck fight. The Beck Rollins fight. I mean, I trained serious for it, but I didn't ask for it. The Christine fight, they asked me to fight her, and I said yes because I'll fight anybody. I trained for it. The Randine fight, they asked me, I said yes without even knowing her name. So those were the 3 fights that I had that I just said yes to. The Paige fight was the one I wanted. So it felt different to me going into it.
Okay. How so? How did it feel different? Because they put her on a pedestal kind of in the industry.
Yeah, it was more of something like I wasn't doing it, before. I was like, man, I'm doing this for my name to get out there, or I'm doing it because I really need money because I'm really behind on my bills, and it's a good paycheck. It was more so like for me to be, because of my past and everything, for me to be a champion or noticed, I have to kind of have that be a champion to be a champion mentality. And I knew that
Nice.
Paige Van Zant
Nice.
had that, that was what her, what she was bringing to BKFC, that she was the most well-known female athlete in combat sports. And so regardless what people think about her, she is a highly regarded elite female. She trains at a really good gym. She has really good training behind her. She really has all the attributes that you would need to be successful as a fighter. But the one thing I knew she didn't have was, and I'm not saying that she's not a tough fighter, because she is tough, but I know she doesn't have the same heart that I do. And I know that it's, based on some of the things she said in act and representation, that it didn't mean the same why that my why was. And that's another thing. People say your why has to be bigger. Your why has to be greater than what's in the ring with you. And I knew for a fact my why was greater and bigger, because where she's fighting for, again, I feel like she was fighting because she's the star BKFC now. She was signed. She has all this attention on her. She has all these big contracts. So for
She
her,
had the clout coming in.
yeah, exactly. So her why was just to show up for that, where my why was to fight for the people that don't have those advantages. My why was for all the people that were like, you got this, Britain, you can do this, beat her. We don't like her attitude. We don't like what she represents.
Nice.
My why was listening and following the support and love of coaches that put so much into me, that finally wanted me to win big. So it was a lot deeper for me. And I already knew that going in, that it meant something, that this would change my life. And for her, she's just going to go back, as you guys can see, kind of, if you fall, for me, I'm going to go back to the gym no matter what. I'm back in the gym. Like you guys saw me training in Puerto Rico with Elvin and some other BKFC fighters. You see me on the road a lot, and being in the gym and working constantly harder, going and visiting my kids and doing stuff like that, and still training and coaching kids. But for her, I feel like she's not really, I wish I could see more from her, her being in the gym, working on stuff, trying to get better. So to me, that's kind of like, I'm not faulting her for it. Everybody's different, but I just know that that's what makes me a rare breed for an athlete and a fighter that deserves the spotlight and attention, and that is going to do something good and positive with it, rather than me just being selfish, sitting at home enjoying, whatever. So I'm looking for it to be an investment in the future, and still
Nice.
be the best fighter. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm still only 50% at my capabilities. I can be way better, and I'm so motivated to do that even more now, that my confidence is up, and that I know what I can work on it and get better.
So you just said something that struck a question. You're at 50% of your capabilities.
Yeah.
What's gonna bring the rest of that real Britain Hart out?
Yeah, honestly, a lot of people, I love moving and I'm really good moving. I think that I'm great at cutting angles and predicting and my reaction I think has gotten awesome. A lot of people talked really bad about me in my earlier career that my defense I was, a brawler and that I didn't have very good defense as a boxer. So I think that I've proven that my defense is pretty good. I can move and slip and I can get out of the way. I block a lot of shots. I'm super proud of myself for that ability. And then, I'm also extremely tough and durable. So it's like, I've taken some hard shots in my career and you don't see my head snap back. I'm tough. I'm in there to grit it out, where if I punch her, she's kind of like, oh shit, I don't want to be hit by that again. And where someone punches me, I'm like, oh no, I'm going to dish it to you more now. Like I'm going to get that back. But, my,
Nice.
my thing is too, is being a smaller girl, I'm probably one of the smallest, in the female division at BKFC. But even with me walking around at 120, my walk around weight is 120, 125. And I'm still beating these girls that are cutting from like 140 and sometimes even maybe 150 and I'm still beating them. And my thing is that I need to I know people are like she needs to work on her power and I hear that as constructive criticism. And so I know that I need to work up my power and gain some muscle and work on some strength and conditioning stuff. So really that's my focus moving forward. I know that my power can be way better. I know I have it in me. It's just the matter of training it and using the power in the ring. So I can go and hit the hell out of a heavy bag, but am I going to do that same type of power in the ring? And that's where it needs to translate from the gym and practice to being in the ring without losing my movement and without losing my defense that I've worked really hard on. So I feel like those two things, I've done well with, and that my power, um, like I said, it is good outside the ring, but I'm just working on getting it in the ring and maybe having a different punch flow and a better punch selection. So people don't have to don't predict me. And I'm really pride myself on changing my fight style. Every time you see me, it's something a little different. You're like none of my fights are the same. So again, I feel like my ability to learn and adapt to situations is really good. And who knows, what if you guys see a southpaw Britain come out and dominate? So just stuff
That'd
like
be
that.
nice.
Yeah, like I'm really looking for those type of things to be able to shock the world, that things I haven't even really um capitalized on 100% yet. That goes into my statement on the 50%, because I know I have it in me to fight southpaw. I know I have it in me to switch stances and be successful. I know I have it in me to be powerful and be a knockout artist. I know I have that, but you guys aren't really seeing it yet, so that gives me something to work for, so you can say Britain has it all.
Okay. No, well said. Well said. And I had to ask because a lot of fighters they'll speak overconfident and say, "Oh no, I'm 100%. I had a bad day." But the fact that you've admitted that you're not physically, mentally all there, it's because you're still growing as a fighter, and I can respect that. Fighters that are up and coming, growing. You just beat one of the biggest stars. That we have, one of the biggest stars in UFC. That says a lot. Your last fight was amazing. Um, so that does bring me to the next question. When it comes to someone you really want to fight, now I know there's been some talk on social media about Christine Fiera, but then you also have Taylor Starling coming out of the woodworks, with a great performance. Out of the two, which one would you think would be your next fight?
Out of those two, it would kind. I think Christine's already said that she doesn't want to fight again, so it's kind of on that. But at the same time, Taylor is my friend. She's really, we work together and we're in the same like organization.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that me and Taylor have talked about it before, and I told her, when she comes in BKFC, that we would have to fight eventually because there's not that many females, and
Mm-hmm.
me and her are. Stylistically a good matchup, and that would be a hard fight that people wouldn't want. That would be a fight
She's a
that
tough
people
girl.
want.
She's a
Yeah,
tough fighter. Tough
and she
fighter.
reminds me so much of myself too, as a and I've helped
I
her.
can see that.
Yeah, for sure. So, we both have these awesome personalities. I mean, her personality is so fun, and she cracks me up on her. Follow her on Instagram. She's hilarious. So she's funny and outgoing, not your typical rough, gruff kind of fighter. Like some female fighters tend to be. She's fun and outgoing. She's full of life, and she has tattoos, but she still, likes being a girly girl. So it's, I love her and identify with her that way. Um, I do like the fact that she's small. I feel like she's more in a comparable weight. So I wouldn't have to say, oh, well, Taylor's bigger than me. And, I have to overcompensate for that reason. But I mean, it would be, it would be, I don't know how to, let's say, how to word this. I think I had asked her to fight before, and I don't think she was quite ready for it. If she's ready for it, it would be a hard, yes. I do want to fight her for the fact, that she's an upcoming star in bare knuckle and that our styles make sense. So if she wasn't my friend, I would love to fight her. But the fact that she's my
Well
friend,
said. Well said.
yeah.
Now, when I'd mentioned Christine, I know that you lost that fight. So is that not a fight that's even interest you?
You know, it doesn't anymore. So I'm kind of like, I'm a BKFC person big time. That's why you see me here down for the fights. So it's kind of like what they're gonna, it's what they're on. What David Feldman tells me who I'm fighting next is kind of what it's been. So I really, besides Paige, I really pushed for that Paige fight. But I'm gonna see what he says. I think I said something. I think I do need the rematch because it was just a doctor stoppage. She never dropped me. I never fell down, whatever. She talks shit all she wants. But it was a doctor stoppage. It was a nasty cut under my eye.
I saw
I
that.
had a lot of things going on. I had an allergic reaction the day before the fight. So I had like these beehives and swelling. The team that I was with, I didn't feel like was very supportive of me.
Mm.
Not that I'm making excuses, but as a fighter, it all comes together.
Oh
So
yeah, it's mental. It's all mental.
yeah, you're thinking I was freaking out. I had this big, huge lump on my head at weigh-ins and these beehives. I had to take a Benadryl. I had to put sleep with a
Oh,
cold compress on my face. That was the day before I fought her. So it was just mentally, and I think it was like 2 years ago. So it's just a lot of stuff has happened in 2 years.
yeah.
So,
We grow
she's
as people, grow as fighters.
exactly. So I know that she came in the interview and she was just like, well, I already fought her before. I want to fight someone, somebody different. So I'm kind of like, all right, well, it's kind of like, again, going back to saying whoever David Feldman says I'm going to fight next is kind of who I'm going to fight next. So I think that's the safest answer right now because there's so many people that, again, I just beat basically their star. And, even though she thinks she's the number one and she is sitting at number one, it's kind of like, well, hey, Britain's the top dog right now. Who wouldn't want? You see Jenny Savage starting up all this stuff, talking shit, trying to start it. It's kind of like the same thing.
I
People
saw
want
that.
that fight, so they're starting shit and they're talking it, and then I get emotionally invested in it. And at the end of the day, I'm here just to be the best fighter. So, even though I can get emotionally invested because I hate this one girl disrespected me. I want the redemption for this one. I don't want to fight her because she's my friend. All that stuff is emotional and personal, and it's hard for me
Hmm.
to make good decisions when I'm emotional and personal. So I really think that right now, I think I'm going to leave it in the hands of BKFC and know that my manager, Kevin Smith and Smith Brothers Combat Sport, they have my back. David Feldman and Nate Shook, they put together good fights. They have good matchups.
Oh, they do. They do.
So yeah, that's how I think. That's how I'm going forward into it because I think about it every day, and sometimes it can be a little emotionally stressful. So I think I'm just gonna trust in my team and my organization, and whatever's next, you guys know is gonna be fire. It's gonna be dynamite, and I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah.
deliver an amazing performance.
Well said. Well said. Do you have any plans on fighting anytime soon?
I do actually. I do. I do. So that's why I'm down here at BKFC.
Okay.
And
Okay.
we just came in, so you can see my hair. I kind of look gym attire-ish. So outside working with some people and holding pads in the parking lot. Like this is what oh man, this is my passion. This is what I love to do. So I'm out there, and it was so cool. A group of people came around. They were video recording, and I kind of want to be out here, wanting to show my support to the fighters, but also it was good to show that hey, starting Monday, I'm putting myself back into this crazy camp. I was letting my body heal, taking the time for my family and friends that deserved it while I was gone in training. Because I was laser focused for my training camps. And anyways, my hands are good. I'm hitting hard. hopefully everyone out there saw that my power, that's what my focus is coming forward. And that, my teeth are healed. I got my brackets removed off my top teeth so I can put my mouthpiece in now. So I'm ready and good to go. I'm in good spirits. I'm healthy. I'm getting a little bit bigger, so I'm putting some weight on so people could, see I'm not a skinny little girl anymore. So I'm putting some weight on and muscle. So it's all good. But that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm letting them get over these fights. And then I'm saying, hey, I came down here to tell everybody I'm back. I'm back. This is me officially being back. I'm not injured. I'm not hurt. I'm not rested. I'm in a mentally amazing place in my life. I have my team behind me, and man, I have some other people that are just support me and got my back 100%, and people are seeing that down here. So, hopefully you hear people talk on how awesome and great I have it right now. I couldn't be more thankful for the people that are in my circle, and everyone's going to know it. We're going to shine together.
Love it. Love it. So I just got something, and Chris just hopped on. I'm going to bring him on. Wait a second. I've got a couple more questions for you. And then I actually want to play a nice clip of one of your fights that stuck out to the world.
Oh,
so
awesome.
Bear with me 1 second. There
What's
he
up,
is,
guys?
Mr. Chris Sarro, Golden Glove boxer. How you doing, champ?
Doing good, man. Sorry for the travel, man. You know how it goes. We're still en route, but it's all good. How's it going? I was trying to find the link, and we're in a panic trying to get to. We missed the weigh-ins, and so I'm like, the only way I can find it is to just enter in. So what's up, guys? My phone is very low, but I wanted to at least make an appearance.
Fashionably late.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I had no control. If I had a mountain bike, I would have at least attempted. Couldn't happen. You know how this stuff goes. I've been flying for the last 4 days from Puerto Rico back home for 48 hours, back on a plane here. So I'm good, though. I'm here for the important part. That's the fights tomorrow. Holy shit. I just saw Elvin's weigh-in. I just left him 4 days ago, and dude grew an extra 2 abs. Everyone looks real good. Yeah. Everyone looks real sharp, and everyone looks hungry. So I think we got a good night ahead of us. I'm excited.
You're looking good, man. I saw you in Puerto Rico. I saw you online. I mean, you went from like 1 week, you looked a little bit, carrying some water there, and then the next week you're shredded up. And I said, what's going on with this guy? It was like a transformation. What were they feeding you over there?
Thank you for being nice, but yeah, I had a massive fat belly when I came to Puerto Rico. No, it's just everything down there. The climate's so perfect for what we do. I'm always sweating. The food's so healthy, you have to go out of your way to go find fast food, and everyone just eats so healthy down there, and there's no distractions. And I lost 18 pounds ish in about 21 days. So
nice.
Britain remembers the first few days getting there. It was like, holy, because I'm coming at the end of Elvin's camp, and I'm coming off, being injured, but we did it. We made it happen, and those mountains are no joke, man. Puerto Rico, I highly recommend Puerto Rico to any fighter who needs a change or anyone who needs to cut weight. Go down there any time of the year, and it's beautiful. The people are amazing there. Elvin Brito, his family, they're so. It's always a warm welcome when I go down there, and I love that place, man. Yeah, Britain was killing it. He was we were going to a Royals boxing gym, and I didn't know. I'm just like, maybe we can train. Let's just have fun, run the island. Britain shows up like, I'm going to war, training hard, running the mountain, sparring with all the kids, and it was a great time. It was fun to watch. Everyone down there, it's all the kids in that gym were like, they have the best spirit. They're all just there to help one another, and it was a real cool camaraderie. I've been in gyms all over the world, and it was a certain kind of vibe in there I haven't gotten anywhere else. I love it. It was good.
Nice.
They all put up with my old fat ass. So it was good. It was good.
Nice.
We're almost in Biloxi now. I missed the weigh-ins, but I'm excited, man. We got what a stacked card. You got Elmore and Leonard. Woo. You got Chop Chop. I just shut my phone off. Hold on a second. You got Chop Chop, who it's like the guy's one of the only people to ever rock Floyd Mayweather. You know, and I know it's been a few years, but there are certain things that just don't leave. I'm very curious on that one because I love Reggie. He's very, very talented fighter, educated hands. That's going to be. I have no idea how that one's going to go. I'm excited though. Bobo Bannon. You know, I'm a fan of Arnold Adams too, but I love his style. It's very unique. He's a very talented fighter, but I don't think he's aware of the fire Bobo Bannon has burning in him right now.
Oh yeah.
Damn, he looked.
I can say that accurately because we were both on that card. And Bobo is the sweetest person you'll ever meet. But this is a very determined Bobo. So we're in for some fights tomorrow night. It's good. I like it.
Okay. Well,
goosebumps.
while we're talking about it, what are some other picks that you two have? Let's hear it. Let's let the fans hear what actual fighters are thinking. I mean, because you brought up. Obviously, you're going
for first. I want to hear what Britain thinks.
Ladies first. Ladies first.
Look at you. Thanks, Chris. So yeah, I mean, obviously the number one fight I'm most excited for is Elvin's fight. You know, we were part of the process. We saw the energy. Chris is so exactly right. The energy down there. I mean, I was only down there for a week, and I promise you, I came back, one, a better fighter, but two, I came back a better person from that trip. And so when I see Chris and his transformation, I know exactly what he means by it. I can see it because I was there and I witnessed it. And it makes me so happy for him to see him grow as a person and a fighter too. And I know that's what he's getting down there. But for Elvin, I mean, for him to share that with us and his passion in fighting, I really can't wait to see that be put in the ring. So that's my number one. I mean, I like Brad too, so don't get me wrong. You know, I think he's a cool fighter. So, you know, no disrespect to him, but obviously, I'm going to say I'm cheering for Elvin 100% and want the best for both fighters, but I'm definitely most excited about that. The Reggie fight, I mean, come on. That's going to be an interesting fight.
Who couldn't be excited?
Yeah, super curious. I'm super curious because
how do you call that fight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm Team Reggie 100%. 100%. I am Reggie. I think Reggie is kind of like me. I think that me and him identify with, you know, we're both really hard workers. We both take risks. We don't both roll the dice because we're real fighters. But, you know, sometimes the cards have been stacked against us. But we say fuck it and we do it anyways because we're real genuine fighters. He's a good person. You know, his family stands tall for him. And I know he's a hard worker, and he's really one of those guys. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't party. He is 100% committed to fighting, and I think people like that really deserve to shine and be the superstars and the champions because they're giving up a huge chapter of their life that everybody else is doing. You know, they're coming in shape every time. They're not falling out of shape and gaining 30 pounds between fight camp. They're really giving it their all in their lifestyle. I think fighters like that deserve to shine. So I am for Reggie. So I do think Reggie is going to win because he has the experience. You know, this is bare knuckle. We're talking about bare knuckle. But, you know, Chop Chop, he has all these impressive, you know, things that he got in boxing. So it's super awesome to kind of see somebody like that because I think a lot of times we see more MMA people come. But as being a boxer, I'm always excited when a boxer comes. So the same thing like with Paulie, like I'm excited for him. I identify with boxers more than I do MMA fighters. So it's exciting for me to see a boxer come in and how they handle it. So I'm just interested and curious how well he does. Although I do say Reggie is going with the win. So that is definitely my prediction. But I think it will be, you know, it has the possibility to be fight of the night I just think it has the possibility for so many things. Zion, we train together, so I'm excited for him. I think that he's another fighter who will surprise the hell out of you. He seems quiet and he's, you know, just a down to earth, really great guy. But when he's in the ring, he's vicious. Like he is a killer.
I like Zion.
he can come out. So I think I'm excited for his breakout moment, because he can be a breakout athlete if everything is good. Again, we all have the tools. It's being mental, and if he has all the right tools, Zion is a breakout fighter. He's young, he's hungry. His dad is a positive role model for him. I love Kane, so super excited for them. Let's see what else. The main event. Holy shit! Two amazing fighters. The main event is gonna be. I can't even. Honestly, I can't.
Let's talk about that for a second. The main event. I mean, that's Joe Elmore, Leonard Garcia. Leonard being such a well-rounded vet. Joe Elmore just being Joe Elmore. I heard a comment earlier on the podcast that said he gives people $1,000 if they saw a video of him ever knocked out or knocked down. I'm not sure which one it was. They said knocked out, but I mean that's impressive.
Yeah, he's impressive, and he's a scary fighter too. But
He is.
They're both so good. They both deserve to be there. So big shout out to both of them and mad respect. If I had to choose and go, I'm gonna go with Joe. So if I had to really roll the dice and bet and say my pick, but I mean that's a hard hey Joe, you got this. But I think he's an awesome fighter. He reminds me of myself with our energy. So I'm gonna go ahead and say
high energy.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the high energy is gonna come out, and that's what's gonna be. The hungry fighters are gonna get it. So
okay.
I got it for him. And then Bobo and Arnold Adams. I even hate picking with that one. That's why this fight is so good. This card is so
Isn't
good.
this card and this whole card is crazy.
I don't even want to pick, man. Like Arnold Adams is just he has it. He's got that natural raw ability. Super different and sneaky and just I think an awesome, well-rounded fighter. In the fact, like with his defense is slick, but his offense will mess you up too. But I'll say from the weigh-ins, that was exciting. Bobo came, he looked ready. He looked impressive, and the fact that maybe he's the hungrier fighter in this one. So it's again, I'm not even. It's going to be a good fight. I'm going to just give it some snake eyes on that one, because I can't even say who I'm going to go for more.
Nice.
So, and then the other, of course, you got David coming in. That's working under Joey, and that's the champ right now. He's with him, and he's got an amazing team behind him. So I definitely am picking him, and think that, actually, I know he has it. I know he has it in the bag. His weigh-in was
crazy.
He was insane, and his energy is so good too. He has good energy. He has a good team behind him.
Funny character.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Super funny. He's making the most of this, and he's hungry.
That's what it takes.
Humble. So I think he's going to be I think he's going to be a breakout star too. So big shout out to him. So I definitely got him for the win, no brainer. But I think he's going to be one to watch. I think he's going to be a true breakout star in bare knuckle. Let's see, who else have we got on the card that I'm going down the list on?
Elvin Gillard.
Melvin Gillard, UFC vet, coming back. We haven't seen him in quite a while.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's hard for me. I haven't really been paying attention to either one for their training camp and fight style. So I'll let Chris take the reins over for his picks now. I think I talked enough on who I love in the sport.
Yeah, it's this card, and I gotta say, and I'm not kissing ass because Nate and Dave know I don't kiss ass. But I got to give a shout out to Nate Shook, because the matchmaker, that's an art form in itself, matching fights. And I'm trying to not have a glare. Sorry, guys. This is like the first card. I don't know how many live events I've been to over the years that I have a hard time like calling a winner, because each fight's a clash of styles. You take Arnold Adams. He's the complete opposite of Bobo O'Bannon. Literally complete opposite. Arnold is like the smoothest, not just heavyweight, one of the smoothest, if not the smoothest style in bare knuckle. That's my opinion. And
he was the first champ.
He's the first champ. And,
yeah.
and that's not a mistake. That was for a reason. And then you got Bobo Abandon. I mean, Bobo, you can't train, you can't teach heart. You know, Bobo has a heart the size of Texas or Mississippi, just to be accurate. But no, Bobo Abandon, not only because he's coming off a loss, you know, the fire's burning so hot with him. He's completely. You guys remember Bobo's first fight? And he did awesome. He completely different human being now, just 3 fights later. So, you know, that's all. I don't know if I can give picks. I will give picks because that's what you're asking for. But honestly, it's hard to call these fights because anything can happen in any one of these fights. So I'm going with Bobo Abandon. Dude, that's my brother. You know, I respect. I love all the fighters. You know, in this promotion, besides one. But I get along with all of them, you know, and that's the one cool thing about, you know, bare knuckle. We're all we all get along. We all, you know, but Bobo Abandon, find me one person that doesn't like Bobo Abandon. Nicest dude in the world. Anyone deserves it. They both deserve it, but right now, Bobo deserves it. He needs redemption, and he's been putting in the work. I'm all for him. I believe in him, and he's going to get that KO. He knocked Mike Kyle out. Who saw that coming? He didn't.
I was
almost
ringside for that.
Like, I jumped off my couch. It blew me away, but very excited. Joe Elmore, Larry Garcia, I love both of them. Both good friends of mine. So same thing. How do you call that fight? You know, in boxing, you can pick fighters apart by what areas they excel in. You know, this guy's more defensive. This guy's more. In bare knuckle, we all have our own style. So it's like there's a lot of unique factors here. So with Leonard Garcia and Joe, they both throw from the hips. They don't give a fuck, and they're warriors. They have that warrior heart, that spirit. They're not afraid. They love it. You know, you watch all their interviews leading up to this fight. It's how it should be. There's no animosity. There's nothing but respect because they both know, like, you know, there's no macho. There's no ego. It's nothing but two humble warriors about to go to war. That is a fight you want to watch. You know, when there's talk and all that, we know how this game goes. But when both guys admit that they got the butterflies, that's some honesty right there. We're gonna see some. We're gonna see some fists flying. I can't call that one. I'll say. I gotta go with Joe. I can't. It's so hard to call because any one of them can spark something out of the blue and it's over. We'll move on. Elvin Brito and Brad Kelly. I'm going with Brad Kelly on this one. I'm joking. I love you, Brad, but you know I gotta go with Elvin on this. These guys are both. They're cut out of stone, tough, hardworking, very hardworking, family men, driven, and they're both great people. You can't not like either of them. But this isn't a popularity contest. As who I see winning this fight? Well, like Britain said, we were down there. I was Elvin's sparring at 250 pounds. I was sparring with Elvin, and I wasn't holding back because he didn't want me holding back, and I didn't want him holding back for me. And I was blown away. And Britain was there. That man can take a fucking punch, dude. Now, not just that, he hit me from ways I've never even been hit before. He threw punches I didn't even know existed from angles I was getting hit left, right. It was thoroughly impressive and humbling, and him being such a good friend of mine, it was awesome to have him kick my ass. It was good. Elvin really does. I mean, everyone can reason why they deserve the win, but Elvin really deserves this win. He's not given enough credit that he's deserved. You know, he brought Palomino the distance and rocked Palomino. And you know, nothing against Palomino. Love him too. He's a great champ. But it's like, did we all forget that? You know, Elvin Brito, you know, Harris is not a weak. That is a tough fighter. In his debut, he had one of the highlight reel knockouts for the promotion. You know, and it's not the promotion that isn't hyping him. It's just Elvin. You know, that's not what he's about. He's purely a fighter. He's here to fight. He's not here to be popular and all these things. So you know, I wish he got more of the respect he's due. And he's gonna after tomorrow night because you see the energy that he comes out with.
Oh yeah.
yeah, like I'm not even going to bother him. Like, I know, we know how this thing goes. And sometimes you want people around, but you can just tell sometimes when someone's in a zone. And I want him as deep in that zone as possible. So he doesn't need my tired, stinky ass around tonight. I'll see him in the morning when I'm well and rested. But I very, very proud of Elvin because you know that is a prime example of a role model. You know, if the world was able to see how that man lives his life and the kind of person he is, on top of being the number 2 ranked bare knuckler in the world, that is what you want kids looking up to, is an athlete like that. Brad too, they're both great people, but I can speak personally about Elvin because I've lived there, been around him every day, and I mean he's blessed. Him, Ashley, their whole family, they're blessed people. He was put on this earth to do this. Yeah, man, I'm very excited. I'm very excited for that fight. All right, let me get the card up right here. Sorry. What else we got? I'm going to go with my boy Melvin Gillard. I love Melvin. I've always been a Melvin Gillard fan, and I don't know anything about his opponent. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I'm so busy. I barely know half the fighters on the roster, and it's climbing fast. So no disrespect to his opponent, but I'm sure he's game. If they gave him Melvin Gillard, it's for a reason, you know. And so, but I'm excited for Melvin. Melvin's another one of those guys who you have no idea what way it's going to go. If he's going to show up on, or if he's not going to, you know, he may not be on. But I'd like Melvin to be on, you know, like just how Chris Lieben went out. Every fighter who has put in the blood and sweat in the years deserves like a beautiful exit like that. So. Caleb Harris and Noah, man, the same thing. Love them both. They're both great people. I'm gonna go with Noah on this one, just because Noah is new to this sport, but sometimes new and hungry is a good combination with the right kind of person, with the right kind of genetics. Noah has all of those things. You know, in the 2 fights that he's had, he's 1-1, I believe, right? He's 1-1. Yeah, Noah. Yeah. Because I don't care about wins and losses. When it comes to bare knuckle, I'm watching the fight. Doesn't matter. This is a different sport. You're both winners for stepping in there. It takes kahunas the size of for boys and girls to step in there. But I see the work Noah's putting in, and coming from Maine, where there's not gyms everywhere in sparring partners, and you see Noah doing a lot of the training himself and stuff. I have a lot of respect for that, and I know that to go out by yourself, you know, doing pull-ups on decks and lifting rocks and running up hills alone, you have to have a certain temperature to your fire. You have to have a certain kind of drive. And and that's usually a recipe for success. Caleb's tough. A lot of times that's when a knockout will come, is with another really good tough fighter, because we don't give a fuck. We're going to stand there and bang back and forth with you until someone goes. So another very exciting fight. Caleb also has a chin made out of stone, so it's a hard one to tell, but I don't know. That's exciting. All right, we got Fish and Miles. You know, I'm going with Adrian Miles on this one. Me and Miles have been set to fight a number of times in the past, and just whether injuries or whatever, it never worked out. But same thing. Adrian Miles he's just a very soft-spoken, kind person. And he's 1-1 in bare knuckle, and both fights were drastically different. In his first fight, he looked like he was scared when they were introducing him, and then when he came out like a friggin' flurry of dynamite and took Big Boy out there. I forget his name, tattoo guy that he took out. It was a DQ, but he got him. He put him down. He just landed one punch when the guy was on the ground, but. That was very impressive. It was like 13 seconds. And then he fought on my last card, and it wasn't our night that night. I feel for him. And that's this sport, though. That it's different than any other combat sport. You can be in the best shape. You could have the best training camp. You could have literally done everything right, but you got touched in the wrong spot that a glove can't get to, but a knuckle can get to. And we have nerves in places, and it's a whole different sport. That's why you see guys that go down, pop right back up. Tom Schoaf in the fight with Joe. Mm-hmm. You don't see knockouts in boxing like that. When you go down, you stay down. In bare knuckle, it's very easy to get sparked. So I see Miles. That's a toss-up, and Fist is coming off that knockout win. This is tough. You're gonna have two guys clashing in the middle. Same thing. This is Nate. Nate, you did good, man. You do good every time, but this is an impressive card because every fight is a clash of style. And now I'm not too familiar with I know the Diaz guy. He was from the tryouts, right? The Diaz guy.
Yeah, both of them were from the tryouts, actually.
Yeah. Oh, I recognize the other guy, flowing like water guy. I saw his video online. All right. I don't know. I've never seen either of them fight, but both of them, I have watched their interviews, and I like their energy. Both very unique. I put money on the fact that neither of them come out scared. Both of these, they know this is a big opportunity. When you come out and you debut for this promotion, you gotta be able to keep your shit together and go out and perform and take risks. Yeah, and both of these guys, from what I gathered and what I saw in their interviews, I like their energy, and I'm excited to see what they bring to the table. Zion, is that how you say it? Tomlinson? I dropped out in the third grade. Forgive me. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I loved his fight until the line. It was very impressive. He's got youth behind him. Like when you see little kids that aren't afraid to jump off things because they never broke their arm. Is like a 13-year-old skateboarder that has no fear of ollieing over a 20 stair. And I would never think twice. That's what I get when I watch Zion in his fight for Till the Line. He reminded me of like me in my early 20s. Just no fear, because what's there to fear? That guy's probably been the dick stomper his whole life. So he has nothing to go by. He's been the alpha. So we're going to get to see all I have to go by with this other guy is in the picture. He looks like he's tatted up. He has a cool mustache, a thick neck, and a mullet. And I bet he brings some serious something to the table. Business in front, party in the back. I like it. But no, Zion, I'm not making fun of you, Hill. I'm exhausted. And I'm not going to make a call on the Jones Thompson because I don't know either of them, and it wouldn't be fair to do that. But yeah, a little long-winded, but it's the first card where I can't say, Elvin's the only one that Elvin's going to win. Elvin's going to knock Brad out, and I mean that in no disrespect. That's this game, but I can't call the other ones really. I really can't, to be honest. I did for show's sake, but in all honesty, I don't know how anything's going to go on tomorrow night. Yeah, and I'm excited for all of them. I'm going to make sure I get a good night's sleep. No planes or trains and automobiles tomorrow. Just leisure, come over and watch some wars. I love watching Dave jump out of his seat. It's a good fight when your boss has veins, bullets and jump. Yeah, no, it's going to be a good one, man. I'm excited.
He's normally got blood on his suit. The last time I saw him, he had blood on his suit, and he said,
he loves it.
It's a real sport when you got blood on your suit. So
yeah, well, Dave is, as we know, he's a former professional boxer.
Oh, so yeah.
It's rare when it comes with promoters. There are, like Ray Zeffel, there are some promoters that are former fighters, but it makes it nice for me having a boss that's been there, done that. You know what I mean? They can understand, they can relate, and no joke. I mean, absolute, it's an honor working for these guys. They treat you with the respect that you're due. If you don't show them respect, don't expect it in return. But they really know how to treat you well as a professional. And I'm very happy to be here. I wish I was fighting, but I'm excited to get to enjoy it as a fan tomorrow. And it's going to be good. You going to be there, Matt?
Me? No.
You going to be there? You coming to the fights? Yeah. No.
Okay, so I'm not going to be there personally. No. No.
Right
unfortunately not. I wish I was. I typically don't drive out of state.
Well, if you didn't know, download the app at BKTV and you can watch all the
That's
for
right.
real though, in case anyone is watching and they're curious on how to catch the fight tomorrow night, BKTV.com. Go check it out, download the app. Get every fight that's ever happened since day one with BKFC. You can get on there for a very low price. I believe it's $4.99 a month. And that includes pay-per-views, everything behind the scenes. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's a good investment. But that's enough out of me.
Well, you know what? I want to ask you. And I'm going to ask Britain the same thing. You have anybody you want to call out on here, Chris? Anybody that for your next fight? Are you looking? You looking to?
Well, we have something that's in the works, so I can't even say. So it's not even worth calling him out because he's already agreed.
Okay.
And I tell you what, man.
So we're gonna have some fight news soon.
My last fight was my first loss in 7 years since I was an amateur boxer. 7 years I'd gone without. Ain't gonna fucking happen again. So you'll want to tune in for this, but I ain't here to promote my fight. That's coming up. But yeah, no, we got someone, and he's already agreed, and I'm already technically in camp. I just took a little break. I'm heading back to Puerto Rico in a week and a half, and I'll be down there to finish my camp.
Yeah.
I go at 205. We got another 33 pounds to go. So be good.
Fight news coming soon. You heard it from the man. Fight news coming soon.
That's right. It's gonna. You don't want to miss this one. Britain, who do you want to fight?
I know, right? Well, you
gotta hear it.
I said it earlier, but I'm gonna just say it, and I'm gonna keep it sweet, simple, and short. To all the girls in the 125 division, you're fucking next.
Oh, you know
all
what?
All the girls can get it.
Love it. That being said,
that's talk that you can back up. That's talk you can back up. And everyone has a handful.
Yeah, there's my training partner. That's what up.
Nice. You know, and you guys looks like you had a great time out there in Puerto Rico too. I watched some of the videos. It was great. But Britain, I want to ask you a question here. I was going to ask you, and then we got notice that Chris jumped on. So I'm going to play a video clip here, and I want to know what was going through your head at this second. Okay, you don't know what's going to be played, so just give me 1 second. Oh, the world's seen it.
I'm not a person, though. I'm not. I'm a fucking feeling, and all of you guys are gonna feel it.
Now, could you hear it?
I didn't hear it, but I have played it so many times that I can hear it.
Okay.
It's a t-shirt now.
So, what was going through your mind as the world heard you say you're a fucking feeling, and you know it went viral? I mean that thing there was I watched it. It was very touching. You know, what was going through your mind?
Yeah, I mean, so it basically goes back and touches back on what we said earlier. Like, my why is greater. Like, I'm not fight. Like, I train for me to push myself. Like, that's, you know, people are like, oh, you got to fight for yourself. But really, you know, I don't. Like, my training is for myself. Like, that gives me my peace of mind. Training with awesome people, you know, like Chris and Elvin and Brandon and, you know, Joey and David and, you know, Zion and Kane. Like, those people training with me are for me. Like, I love it. It fills my soul with so much happiness. It's a great thing. But when I fight in the ring, it's for the people. I mean, I have so many people that message me that say they're inspired or motivated and keep shining, even on stupid stuff. They're like, man, your TikToks make our day. We make, you know, we smile and laugh. And, you know, you get the few people that are like, oh, that's stupid, or that's, you know, crazy, or what is she on, meth or crack or whatever, you know. But there's so many people that sit there and say, hey, you brighten my day. You make me feel like it's possible. And that's kind of like what I said. I'm a feeling. And when I was training, I was like, man, I'm tired of falling short and not missing this opportunity. And I told you, I already took the opportunity. I knew I wanted it. But when I'm a feeling, and I want people to feel it. Like, I want people to feel the energy and the hard work. And again, you saw it with my teeth. I mean, my teeth came out, and I didn't even flinch. Like, I just put my mouthpiece on and said, I got to keep going. And that's the feeling that I'm trying to get the world to understand, that we don't quit, we don't give up, and to know that no matter what, even if your teeth get knocked back and you say crazy stuff, you just got to go with it. And, you know, we get these opportunities and moments in life and to give back. And, you know, again, that's why I was saying, you know, I'm not a person. It didn't mean like I'm not a carbon living life form, but it meant like, you know, at the end of the day, you know, again, like Chris was saying with the fights, we named some fighters. We're like, well, we don't really know them, so we can't really speak about it, you know? and I'm not no disrespect to those fighters. We just don't know them. But I guarantee you, if we sat in a room with them and they had a good positive outlook, they were a hard worker, whatever qualification they have, we would know it, and we would remember them by the feeling they gave us. The same way with like Elvin. Chris said it, and I totally agree with him. Elvin gives you a feeling. He gives you a fucking great positive feeling that things are amazing and that you can do it, and that he jumped his family out to Puerto Rico and did something really hard and challenging, but he's doing it, and he's doing it with a smile on his face. And me and Chris know that feeling, you know, and that's why we'll never forget him. Like, we'll never forget Elvin and, you know, his goat and all that awesome, crazy stuff. But you know, that's kind of what I was saying in there. Like, when you meet me and you're around me, you know that I'm a real, genuine person, and you know that I'm going to push through it no matter what. And hopefully it motivates people to do the same, that we can get somewhere by being a good person and fighting hard for things that are bigger than just ourselves. Like, I don't care about me. I'm not being selfish. I'm in there to show it that I can do it. So can you.
Nice. Well said. Very well said.
If I could just add one thing real quick to that.
Sure.
I loved it because you're in those moments, you're so filled, like you have so much emotion running through your body. You can't describe it. I couldn't describe it to you now, like what it feels like it. And if you put me on the mic, I've yet to be on the mic after a win. If you put me on the mic after I just, you know, won a big fight, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what to say. And what I don't like seeing though is when you just see the same generic response. You get on the mic, you know what they're going to say. It's the same thing. And they're filled with so much emotion, but they're having to force themselves to sound like every other fighter does. And Britain got in there. There was no rehearsal. She just let it out. And that right there, like without a doubt, is inspiring. That's what people want to see, because that's that. Whether people want to admit it or not, it's like we all wish we could just be that way openly and not care and have no filter. And she got to do it in front of millions and millions of people in one of the biggest upsets in combat sports. And that tiny window you get is it's very important what comes out of your mouth. If you just beat your opponent and you stand over them, you know, and all that belligerent shit, that's not a role model, you know, and that's not what you want people looking up to. That's not how you embody the sport. You know, she's in there, she's just talking. I didn't care what she was saying. I just loved the fact it was just flowing out and she wasn't taking time to filter it. So it doesn't even matter what was said. But what's cool is now there's a t-shirt. Isn't there a t-shirt now you can get?
There is.
Yeah. I thought that was awesome. I'm like, there.
Very nice. It's always good when you hear a fighter being genuine. I can say that. You know, it's always good when you have a fighter coming in, even before or after. And after a win like that, your heart's beating. Your mind is racing. Definitely something to look up to. I definitely commend you on that.
Thank you.
There's too many snakes in this world.
That's awesome.
Too many. Yeah, you're welcome. Well, there's too many dishonest snakes in this world. So when you can get any genuine, like, honesty from a person, it's, you know, we need more of that, and especially in combat sports. You know, I get that it's entertainment, but it goes a long way being genuine, because you do have to remember it. We don't realize it because we're living it, but there's a lot of people that watch us, and this is the fastest growing sport right now in the world, and it's important. It's important what we put out there. It's a big platform and stuff, so, you know, it's important to me. I'm constantly growing up every day, but I'm always in check. You know, you don't want little kids looking up to you, and you get out there and you have that, you know, or you're online always talking shit about people. And I know I have a dirty mouth, but I have a big heart, so I make up for it. But I'm not talking behind backs. I'm not backstabbing. It's like, you know, I'm not in high school anymore. You know, we're all professionals here, so all that to say, like power to you, Britain, you know, and don't ever filter yourself. I'll unfollow you if you do. Nice.
And speaking of following, anyone who's watching this right now, I want you to follow MMA Uncensored on YouTube. If you want to see this video, see this clip, we're actually going to air this later on tonight. So listen, Britain, I thank you. Chris Sarro, I thank you. I'm glad you got to come on. Better late than never, I always say.
Hey, man,
So
look where I am too. Just arrived too. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
nice.
Worked
Well, listen,
out perfect. Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
we thank you for coming on, and Britain, we thank you for coming on. Go get some rest. And, enjoy the fights tomorrow night, and good luck to the both of you. We'll be waiting to hear that fight news from the both of you.
That's right. We got it.
Thank you, man. Thank you. All right, guys. Have a good night.
All right, have
See
a
you
great night.
tomorrow.
See you guys.
All righty. So you heard it from Britain Hart. You heard it from Chris Sarro. Okay. Bare Knuckle, as you can see, stream going by tomorrow night. BKTV, the app. Get it. It's not much. All you have to do is download it. You can download it 5 minutes before the fight. Okay. BKTV app. That's www.bktvapp.com. Okay. Now, also, MMA Uncensored on YouTube. Go follow us right now, so you can start getting all these updates, because the podcast is back. We are going live. You will see podcasts being posted every week. So from MMA Uncensored here at the studio, we thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great night, and I'll see you.